I want to encourage you in this today, man. We have the most amazing opportunity when we understand and become believers. Jesus fulfilled what man failed. He modeled a life that we were created to live. He'd have never said, follow me if we couldn't. And he would have never said, follow me if it wasn't the will of God for us to live what we see in Jesus. And I'm not just talking about the healings. I'm not just talking about the power of God. I'm talking about the heart of God. I'm talking about a man that did right every minute of his life and got treated wrong practically every minute of his life. Guys, some of us don't last a half a day in that situation. Everything he said was contested. Everything he said was twisted. And truth himself stood in front of men day in and day out. His works revealed the Father. He cried out and said, even if you don't believe me for my words, at least believe me for the work's sake, that they bear witness of my Father. He was crying out for men to believe. And for 3 years he spoke, and they killed him for what he said. It's kind of sobering that truth can stand in front of men for years and speak, and men are so sure of what they're sure of that they kill truth. It shows you how twisted things got when man fell and separated from God. It shows you the mentality that encroached into humanity, and that when every man was born into Adam, he was really born into the nature of the enemy of God. We don't talk about it enough, but there's an enemy to God. You know, the counterfeit of love is self-centeredness. The counterfeit, like the perversion, I should say the perversion of forgiveness is unforgiveness. Of love is hate. It's everything the devil is. When Adam surrendered authority, he didn't just sin. He took on the nature of God's enemy. He became separate from God, which means he became opposite of God. He got cut off from who he was. So love perverted into self-centeredness in a moment of eating a fruit in disobedience. It's pretty incredible. And when you look at your Bible, every man since that day was born into Adam, and you must be born again. Let's not just turn born again into something that blesses me, something that takes me to heaven when I die, just prepares me in case I have an accident when I leave church. I better run up and pray what the pastors pray and make sure I'm covered. Let's make sure the gospel's way more than that. The gospel is a restoration of life and purpose. It's new life through Jesus Christ. It's God putting his spirit back inside of men. It's old things passing away, and behold, all things, not some things, all things becoming new. You didn't incorporate him into your life. He became your life. And now you're one with God. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So see, now offense doesn't fit. Unforgiveness doesn't fit. It doesn't fit because it doesn't live in him. It doesn't live in us. We can't just bring him into our life. He has to overtake it. It's Christ in me, the hope of glory. The attitudes that are unproductive need challenged. The things that are demeaning and derogatory, that are judgmental, that are projective, we have to stop calling normal. It's not normal. It's perverted. It wasn't what God ever intended. It's everything the devil is. See, he understands that God made man in his own image, and each seed after its own kind, and he wants to multiply himself till the whole earth is full of his glory. That means full of his expression. So the enemy said, let me intervene and twist this thing up, and let me get my seed involved. And let me get them to become like me, and then everything they produce will look like me, and I can cover the whole earth with me. But the truth is, he's dark and God is light. And light is greater than dark. But the thing is, we better believe that. And we got to understand that the light's in us. And Jesus said, you are the light of the world. That's what he said. He said, so let your light so shine before men. He didn't say bicker, complain, try to make it. Become something. Don't just believe something, become something because of me. You're the light of the world. From the youngest in this room to the oldest, we're the light of the world. If you got time, if your heart's beating, you can walk in the light yet today. You say, well, I ain't been living that for 50 years, so live it for the next year. Light's greater than darkness. Darkness is never the problem. Darkness is the absence of light. Nobody ever walked into a room and saw these bright lights and said, guys, this is a little intense. Could you turn up the darkness? If the room gets dimmer, it's because somebody turned down the light, and ye are the light of the world. Your workplace isn't the problem. It's us not seeing who we are in Christ. Your supervisor isn't the issue. It's you failing to see him through Christ. I promise you, we don't have the problems that we think. We have one amazing answer, and it's living our life by the Spirit of God.